Can you build a deck with just Eternity Code? It's been a hot minute since we've done one of these, but loads of you have been requesting for this series to return, and we now have Dual Overload, Secret Slayers, the new Machina structure decks. They're all on the list, don't worry, we'll get round to it eventually. Now, we opened an entire case of Eternity Code on the channel not too long ago, pulling one of the fabled Starlight Rares. If you haven't seen it yet, go pleasure your peepers, but shortly after, it was revealed that the final Starlight Rare in the set was Effect Veiler. I need it! I need 3! How can a shiny piece of cardboard be so attractive? Anyway, the return of this series, and specifically this episode, is sponsored by Bushiroad. I'm sure most of you have heard of Cardfight Vanguard. It's a very popular trading card game and anime that's been going for over 9 years now. Well, they've just released the best of both worlds in the form of their new mobile app, Vanguard Zero. Not only can you relive your favourite moments of the show by playing through story mode and harnessing the power of iconic cards like the big boy himself, Blaster Blade, but once you've put some cards together and built a deck of your own and reached stage 11, you unlock PvP. Here you can either battle against your friends or people all around the world in competitive ranked seasons. Even just in my first ranked match, I absolutely demolished my opponent thanks to this absolute monster that we pulled. Oh, the triple rare! Oh, and it's animated! Actual god pools, man, how rare is that? All of your opponent's units lose intercept? Yo, that's actually crazy! Overall, it's a really enjoyable game, the animations are really smooth, I like the fact that they credit their artists as well and show pool ratios. They even have a pretty cool feature that you unlock at stage 8 where you're able to design your own room. If you like the sound of all that, you can get started on Android and iOS by just clicking the link in the description. Now, for all you Zoomers that have no idea what this series is about, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but basically, we build a deck using cards that are only available in Eternity Code and see how well we can do with it competitively. The reveal of the 5th Starlight being Effect Veiler is actually huge because it means going forward with this series, we're pretty much going to have a staple reprint in every set, which is pretty useful. So let's get started. Okay, you're probably thinking, what on absolute earth are we looking at here? But let me explain. So right off the bat here, we have 6 generically good traps. Titanocider is pretty much like a Lost Wind, and Gravehole negates an effect that activates in their hand or in the graveyard. It also burns them for 2000, which is a semi-common theme here. So we then have our 6 hand traps, Triple Veiler and Triple Moonlit Chill. Moonlit Chill also has a burn effect. If the monster that we negate leaves the field, they take burn damage equal to its attack. Lopter is basically just a normal summon that specials Har from the deck for free. That's a 3k booty, and it can also, when your opponent adds a card, rip a monster out their hand. The rest of the deck pretty much revolves around water support, so we have the Shark package, which turbos out Valiant Shark Lancer from the extra deck pretty much for free. This card I just read, and it's it's pretty good. If a face-up water monster you control is destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect, special summon this card from hand, then send one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. And it's got a 2/6 attack. Honestly, when I read that, I was pretty surprised. So that's in the deck. Rainbozu, the little raindrops with jetpacks. It's kind of like a attack boost equip spell. So if you scale it once per turn, you can target one monster you control. It gains attack equal to the difference in extra deck cards times 100. So if we have 6 and they have 15, it's pretty much just a free 900 attack boost. Not complaining about that. The deep sea stuff is actually kind of underwhelming in this set. The main effects we're most likely going to be resolving here is the special summon effects, because looking at the opponent's hand isn't that useful in a deck that can't really capitalize on it. So Minstrel mills 3 and pretty much stacks your deck. Sentry adds a card to your hand, and Artisan, probably the most useful one right now, special summons from the graveyard. Pyraith is pretty much just a generic water monster that special summons itself from the graveyard when a water monster is destroyed. Prism is pretty much like a reborn effect, but the purpose behind this is triggering the deep seas when they're special summoned. Torpedo Takedown is also a burn card, much like Gravehole and Moonlit Chill. You detach one material from a water exceeds monsters and then deal damage to your opponent and gain attack. And then later on you can banish it and a water exceeds monster from your graveyard. Draw 2, so not bad. Very interesting deck we have here, not gonna lie. We have Access Code Talker and just some random stuff here if we are able to link climb, but I highly doubt we will be able to. I don't know, I guess we'll see how it goes. As always in this series, it's going to be a best of 1 format due to the lack of side decks, so 5 different matches, 5 different decks. Let's see how it does. Round 1. What we do here is we start small and then climb the ladder, so we're up against a singular Ancient Gear structure deck here, and we're going first. We open Gravedigger's Trap Hole and Titanocider, which I'm pretty sure are both totally useless against the Ancient Gear structure deck, and we end on a 1500 attack Pyrwraith. He slams down an Ancient Gear Wyvern, which is like the best card in his deck, and activates its effect to search. So we hit that with a Veiler. He drops an Ancient Gear Castle and passes turn, clearly scared of my back row. We're already feeling the heat here because Eternity Code has no generic back row removal, and Ancient Gear Castle is pretty much just a ticking time bomb for us. We draw into a second useless trap and are forced to normal summon Artisan and a link into area. But even that's not good enough because his castle's buffing his Wyvern up to 2000 and area's only 1850. So the plan here is for him to beat over area and activate both her and Pyrwraith's effect, where we can search Chillblainer and summon Pyrwraith from grave, and then when he destroys Pyrwraith we can summon Chillblainer from hand. But when Wyvern attacks, you can't activate any effects until the end of the damage step, which totally bypasses all of that. Haha! Round 2, we're up against, this, and we're going first. 3 hand traps, 1 actual trap, and the shark package. Not gonna lie, it's actually a good hand purely because we got the good shark. I decide to set one past just in case they have a way to get rid of my Xyz. Dimension Shifter comes down as the first card, so we obviously have to hit that with the Gravedigger's Trap Hole. Burning Astrid for a fat 2k. Setting 2 back row, she passes turn, and we draw into Torpedo Takedown, the perfect burn card right now because we actually have access to Valiant Shark Lancer. So I normal summon Buzzsaw and summon Lantern from the deck and overlay into, I guess you could say, our boss monster. Torpedo Takedown burns for 400 times the number of cards we have in hand, meaning 1200 in total, and then adds that as attack to our Water Exceed monster. Getting her down to like 1000 life points. Imagine how funny it would be if you ended your opponent with the Moonlit Chill burn effect. That should be a challenge, man. She flips Extravagance, drawing 2 cards, sets 1 more back row and activates Soul Release. This banishes a total of 5 cards between both players' graveyards. Perfect for the Grenmaju she has in hand. Thankfully, Veiler puts its attack down to 0, and then on our turn we can just pop it with our Jaws. Despite our deck being the embodiment of absolute garbage, we took a game. Round 3, we're up against Super Heavy Samurais. He wins rock, paper, scissors and makes us go first, where our hand is garbage. I set Gravedigger's Trap Hole and hope for the best, keeping Artisan in hand because I want to try and summon it off of Necroquip next turn. If, big if, there is a next turn. Spoilers, there is no next turn. What about post-Eternity Code Plunder Patrols? I actually love this deck, by the way. We're going first, and you know, I really regret putting in these Deep Seas because they just do absolutely nothing except brick our hands. So I end on Titanocider and a Pyrwraith. Over to Rez, he starts with a Tuning, searching for Quick Draw Synchron, activates the field spell, discarding a card to search for Whitebeard, then discards it to summon Quick Draw, getting him a summon from deck of any Plunder Patrol monster. Linking into Blackbeard, he then sets 1 back row and goes to the battle phase, attacking over my Pyrwraith. That's totally fine. In the damage step, I can activate Titanocider, putting his attack down to 0 and pretty much wiping his board. However, because I have always chain selected, the second prompt it gave me was not during the damage step. Because of this, he's able to chain the effect of Blackbeard to tag himself out into a different copy and then just attack over my monster. Genuine question, why do I even bother? Why? I would say that had I not made this mistake, it would have changed everything. However, his back row is booty, which is a valid response to literally anything I do. We top deck Gravedigger's Trap Hole for turn, normal summon Minstrel, and activate Necroquip to summon Sentry from hand. Here we link into Iria, who summons a water monster from Rez's graveyard to a zone she points to. However, on the summon he flips Booty to summon Whitebeard from his grave and then tags out into Bran. This gets us back our Titanocider, and thinking about it now, if I never made that mistake before, we would have the extra body and we could go in to access Code Talker. I'm not sure if we would have actually won the game that way, but more to the point, because we did make that mistake, we got steamrolled. Finally, we have Adamanticators. Can we bring it back and have at least a respectable score? Who am I even kidding at this point? Of course we bloody lost. So can you build a deck with just Eternity Code? Absolutely not. It is one of the greatest core sets printed in a very long time, but purely because it has such great supporting cards for decks that already exist. It doesn't introduce any entirely new archetypes like Ignition Assault did, and therefore there's really no synergy in the set. While the idea we had with all the different water monsters was pretty cool, it clearly just doesn't work. So yeah, that's going to wrap up the video. If you have made it this far and you're happy that the series is back, drop a like. Next upload is of course Yu-Gi-Oh! From Scratch episode 29 on Thursday, and once again thanks to Bushiroad for sponsoring this video. Bye.
Gravel road, I've been asked to slow down. Fireplace, do you